This video was created by VinylicPuma of VinylicPumaGaming.
So it's been a little while since Far Harbor came out, but I figured since the dust has cleared a little bit, I would finally take the time to go over some of the unique weapons from the Far Harbor DLC. The only sad thing about this list is there isn't a single unique pistol that got added with the Far Harbor DLC. Even still, there are some interesting combinations of legendary effects with certain weapon types that work pretty well with one another. So without further ado, these will be the top 8 best unique guns and weapons from Fallout 4's Far Harbor DLC, starting now. Number 8, the Sergeant Ash Flamer. Now, this weapon can be purchased from D-Gen, who is one of the synths in Acadia. Now, I don't like the Flamer, and the problem with the Flamer is that it doesn't work well with VATS, and the range of the weapon decreases as you upgrade it. And the potential damage upgrades you can get, I mean, the stock Flamer does about 12 damage, the fully upgraded Flamer is dealing 20, which isn't that big of a deal for upgrade-wise. However, the Sergeant Ash does have the kneecapper effect, making it ideal against most in-game creatures, especially because most creatures can't use stim packs to heal their crippled limbs, and there really isn't an easier way to kill a Deathclaw. It takes a bullet to the knee, haha, so to speak, and then you keep shooting it until it dies. And then like Flamer Fuel, like 5mm ammo for the minigun, is also fairly cheap to buy, and if you specialize in heavy weapons, it might be worth carrying the Sergeant Ash just to deal with some of the creatures in the game. Now, while it's certainly not the best heavy weapon that you're going to see, it could still prove pretty useful to you. Number 7, the Harvester Ripper. Now, the Harvester Ripper can be looted from a chest at Echo Lake Lumber. Now, the Ripper is a pretty powerful melee weapon thanks to its high DPS, and extended Rippers in particular also deal bleed damage to enemies over time, further increasing that DPS. Now, the Harvester in particular is nice because it has the staggering effect, which not only works well against small to medium-sized creatures, but also up against humans. And thanks to the Ripper's high attack speed, it seems like you could constantly stun enemies, putting them in a position to where they can't even fight back. So you can basically deal this ridiculous amount of damage per second, and they can't even hurt you. This is going to be a great melee weapon to have, though since the Ripper in general does have lousy range, you might want to use something else up against something like a Deathclaw or a Mirelurk Queen. Number 6, the Fishcatcher Polehook. Now, the Fishcatcher Polehook can be purchased from Alan at Far Harbor. Within the Far Harbor DLC. Now, Polehooks in general are generally really good up against Mirelurks because they have good armor penetration. While the attack speed is slow and the damage isn't quite as high as the Supersledge, the armor penetration is nice, and the Fishcatcher has reduced action point consumption thanks to the VATS enhanced effect. And this is pretty nice as you get reduced action point requirements for VATS as well as for melee power attacks. While there's a better unique Polehook in the Far Harbor DLC, the Fishcatcher is pretty good for what it is, and it's a lot like the Rockville Slug or baseball bat from Fallout 4's vanilla game. Number 5, the Admirals Friend Harpoon Gun. Now, this can be purchased from Alan Lee at Far Harbor in the Far Harbor DLC. So the Harpoon Gun in general is fairly nice, and while the ammo is heavy in survival mode, you can occasionally recover harpoons off of the corpses of enemies that you kill. The Harpoon Gun in general is more of a sniper type weapon and is terrible up close, mostly just due to that reload. And since the Admiral's Friend has the instigating effect, you're going to want to pair this with sneak attacks to get massive amounts of damage. And I would venture to say that in most cases, a headshot on a human enemy with max health, a maxed out heavy weapons perk, and sneak attack damage is going to instantly kill that enemy. The only thing that would really make this thing better, in my opinion, is the silencer, and maybe if harpoons were a little lighter. Number 4, Adam's Judgement Supersledge. So This is received from Zealot Richter once you complete the Heretic side quest mission for the Children of Adam. And what it does is it adds 100 radiation damage before perks, which is a legendary effect that is unique to the Adam's Judgement. The Adam's Judgement also looks unique as well, and unlike normal Supersledges, you get these 4 irradiated fusion cores on the hammer portion, which I think is pretty cool in my opinion. And it's also worth mentioning that this is also compatible with the normal mods that come with the Supersledge, so you can put a stun pack on this thing. I think this is pretty cool in my opinion. Otherwise, the Adam's Judgement hits like a truck. Since it does deal radiation damage, it's probably going to be best up against human enemies, as many other enemies in Fallout 4 have radiation resistance, and in the case of some enemies like feral ghouls, they are completely resistant to radiation. Number 3. The Bloodletter Polehook. Okay, so this is received from Cassie Dalton upon completing the Blood Tide side quest mission for the Far Harbor DLC. And really overall, the Far Harbor DLC has a lot of great unique melee weapons. I think that the Bloodletter Polehook is probably one of, if not the best. Between the Bloodletter and the Fish Catcher, you're definitely going to want the Bloodletter thanks to the wounding effect, which deals 25 points of bleed damage to enemies over time. And the wounding effect is probably one of the most powerful legendary weapon effects in Fallout 4, especially outside of survival mode. Now, the Bloodletter is perfect for killing Mirelurks with lots of health, as the armor penetration bypasses their armor and the bleed effects just wreck their health. I highly recommend the Bloodletter, especially if you're a melee character. Number 2, the Old Reliable Lever Action Rifle. Okay, so this is another gun that can be purchased from Degen the Synth in Acadia. Now, the lever action rifle has really good base damage for a rifle, and this, of course, is made even better by the fact that you get the 2-shot legendary weapon effect. So, essentially what happens is you get 2 bullets to fire at the cost of just 1 bullet. Now, the problem with the Old Reliable is that it's based on the lever action rifle, which has a broken reload as of the making of this video. And if Bethesda or a modder fixes the reload, that would greatly improve not just this gun, but the lever action rifle in general. But even still, you're going to get a lot of damage out of this thing, and the Old Reliable is going to be one of the best rifles that you will be able to get while you're playing through the Far Harbor DLC. And finally, number 1, and that's going to be the Kiloton Radium Rifle. Now, this is purchased from Kane at the Nucleus after you have joined the Children of Adam. So this is essentially a radium rifle with an explosive effect. The normal variant of the radium rifle is one of the best normal variant rifles in Fallout 4. And the radium rifle maximizes the damage potential of 45 caliber ammo, exceeding both the submachine gun, which is essentially the spray and pray, and then the combat rifle, which is essentially the Overseer's Guardian. You also deal radiation damage on top of all this, which is great up against human enemies. Now, many people have compared this to the spray and pray from the vanilla game, and I would argue that the Kiloton Radium Rifle is leaps and bounds better than the spray and pray, especially if you play on survival difficulty. Overall, the Kiloton Radium Rifle is the best unique rifle from the Far Harbor DLC. I recommend that you pick it up. Anyway, guys, that's going to pretty much wrap up this particular video. If you like this video, please be sure to leave a like, and as always, take care, and I'll see y'all next time.